leaders with disabilities. First of all, what is leadership and what is it defined as? You don't have to be in a leadership role to be a leader.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in a leadership role to be a leader. Leadership is by taking control and speaking up for yourself and others. That's what leadership is, at least to me. And having the benefits of having a disability and speaking up for yourself and others is really powerful in being a leader. That's how we get policy change. That's how we see changes with not only in our states, but our communities as a whole and nationwide. You don't have to be in a leadership role to be a leader. And I just want to really emphasize that as a component, because a lot of people think you have to be in a leadership role to be a leader, and you don't. Mental health issues in the past year. Last year was one of the hardest years of my life. And one of the barriers that we faced was getting able to access to mental health services. I went in, got an assessment. Therapists undermined my ability to harm myself, basically. And they gave me an appointment for 5 weeks out. That should not happen. And that is why I'm advocating for people that have disabilities, especially in the mental health field, because 17.4 million adults with disabilities struggle with their mental health, according to the CDC. So we know it's a systemic issue and it's a systematic issue, but companies are already making changes because of what happened to me and my story. And there's a lot of systematic issues that need changed, but that is one of the biggest barriers that we've had within the past year.
Self-advocacy and leadership development.
Well, self-advocacy and leadership development, there's several different courses you can take. For instance, I took Youth Leadership Forum. That's a program for high school students that will teach you the basis of self-advocacy skills. I also took a program called Partners in Policy Making. That is the stepping stone of the bigger stepping stone of YLF. It teaches you how to effectively communicate with your legislator. That way you can be a leader in all these self-advocacy movements, can be a leader in legislation. And I also took the Learning Education and Neurodevelopment and Related Disabilities program through OU HSC. That will teach you how to be an effective leader in the medical field. If you're going for physical therapy, occupational therapy, audiology, it teaches you how to be a part of an interdisciplinary team. So we don't need the self-advocate voice out. I feel like many times without these programs, the self-advocacy voice would be taken out of the picture altogether. And I'm very happy that I've taken these programs to further my knowledge and further my advocacy and further my leadership. I was really excited when the TV show Speeches came out. Not sure if many of you have watched it or seen it, but it's about this guy who has cerebral palsy and is fully mainstream. And that show was so relatable to my life. And it was funny. It came out during my high school years. And a lot of my peers that were in my regular classes finally understood what I go through on a daily basis. And I think media we're getting closer to that goal, but there needs to be more representation in media in general. An example, again with my basketball team, we had this banter of, just everyday girl banter about who farts the loudest or like works the loudest. But we were at an away game in Tulsa, actually in Sperry, and there were no stalls in the bathroom, and I really needed to use the restroom. And my mom had to come and help me because obviously I can't do that on my own. And I was really nervous at first, but then they said, we see you on an everyday basis. It's not awkward for us. So that was really a huge, great impact on my mental health, because that really, it became like my sisterhood, much like a sorority is a sisterhood. And that was a great impact on my mental health, and I have had mental health issues all my life. I wish I had gone to help sooner than I did, but